Summer was over, and for Harry Potter, the long, sunlit days at the Dursleys' house had faded into memory. The air was tinged with the first chill of autumn, and the world outside his window seemed to hold its breath, waiting for something to happen. Harry felt a familiar ache, a longing for the place he truly called home. Returning to Hogwarts felt like coming home, like stepping into a world where magic was real, friendships were forged in fire, and every corridor held the promise of adventure. The castle's ancient stones seemed to welcome him back, echoing with laughter and secrets. Except this year, something was off. There was a heaviness in the air, a sense of unease that clung to the walls and whispered through the halls. Even the other students seemed to sense it, exchanging nervous glances as they hurried to their dormitories. Before he could even finish packing his trunk, a trembling house elf named Dobby appeared in his room, eyes wide with fear and urgency. Dobby's voice shook as he pleaded with Harry, warning him not to return to Hogwarts under any circumstances. Dobby insisted a terrible plot was brewing at the school, a danger greater than anything Harry had faced before. The house elf's words were desperate, his warnings frantic, as if he alone understood the darkness gathering at Hogwarts. But Harry, stubborn and brave, refused to listen. Hogwarts was his sanctuary, the only place he truly belonged. He couldn't imagine missing a single day, no matter what dangers might be lurking in the shadows. With Ron's help and a flying car, Harry made it back to the castle in spectacular if unconventional fashion. The thrill of the journey was tempered by the memory of Dobby's warning, which echoed in his mind like a distant thunderclap. Their journey ended in disaster, crashing into the Whomping Willow, a tree as fierce as any monster. It was as if the castle itself was trying to keep them away, sending a message that this year would be different and far more dangerous. The professor's welcome was anything but warm. Stern faces and suspicious eyes greeted them in the entrance hall, making it clear that trouble was already brewing and that Harry and Ron were at the center of it. Still, Harry tried to settle in, unpacking his things and telling himself that everything would be all right. He tried to push aside the unease, to focus on the familiar comforts of his dormitory and the promise of a new school year, but the feeling lingered, haunting him like a shadow in the corridors and a whisper in the candlelight. Every creak of the floorboards, every flicker of the torches seemed to hint at secrets waiting to be uncovered. Dobby's warning was more than a strange encounter. It was the first note in a terrifying symphony, a prelude to something dark and dangerous that was about to unfold within the castle's ancient walls. And Harry, whether he liked it or not, was standing center stage, the unwitting hero in a story that was only just beginning. The shadows were gathering, and the warning in the night would soon become impossible to ignore. Life at Hogwarts tried to return to normal, classes, Quidditch, and the ever-flashy Gilderoy Lockhart, but Harry started hearing a voice, a cold, slithering whisper no one else could hear. It spoke of killing, of violence, echoing through the castle's ancient stones. Harry asked Ron and Hermione, but they heard nothing. Was he losing his mind, or was something darker at work? The voice grew louder near a deserted second-floor corridor, luring Harry closer. He felt a dreadful pull, a curiosity he couldn't resist. The whispers were a puzzle, a secret horror only he could sense. They seemed to be leading him somewhere, toward danger. Harry knew whatever was making that sound was at the heart of Dobby's warning. The walls of Hogwarts felt less like a haven, more like a trap. The mystery deepened, and Harry was alone with it. The darkness was closing in. On Halloween night, the whispers became real. Harry, Ron, and Hermione stumbled upon a horrifying scene, blood-red words on the wall. The Chamber of Secrets has been opened. Enemies of the heir, beware. Mrs. Norris, the caretaker's cat, was found petrified. Panic swept the school. Suspicion fell on Harry. The legend of the Chamber of Secrets, once a myth, was suddenly real. Salazar Slytherin's secret chamber, built to purge the school of Muggleborns, was open again. Fear spread like wildfire. Students walked in groups. Whispers replaced laughter. Muggleborns like Hermione were terrified. They were the targets. Hogwarts was no longer safe. A monster was loose, and no one knew who would be next. The castle's dark history was alive, and the students were trapped inside with it. The nightmare had begun, and Harry was at its center. To calm fears, Lockhart started a dueling club, mostly to show off. During a student duel, Malfoy conjured a snake, and Harry instinctively spoke to it in Parseltongue. The snake obeyed, but everyone else saw Harry as a threat. Whispers spread. Harry was a Parselmouth just like Salazar Slytherin. Suddenly, Harry was an outcast, suspected of being the heir of Slytherin. Even friends looked at him with suspicion. Harry began to doubt himself. Could he be connected to Slytherin? The fear of the monster was now mixed with fear of his own identity. The school's trust in Harry shattered overnight. The real enemy was still hidden, but Harry was now a suspect. The darkness was closing in, and Harry felt more alone than ever. The line between hero and villain blurred. The chamber's secret was more personal than he'd ever imagined. and the danger was only growing. As attacks continued, Harry, Ron, and Hermione found a blank diary in Moaning Myrtle's bathroom. When Harry wrote in it, the diary wrote back, revealing memories from 50 years ago. The diary belonged to Tom Riddle, who claimed Hagrid opened the chamber and unleashed a monster. The memory showed Hagrid with a giant spider, seemingly guilty. The Ministry arrested Hagrid and suspended Dumbledore, leaving Lockhart in charge. But before Hagrid was taken, he left Harry and Ron a clue. Follow the spiders. The diary had pointed to Hagrid, but Hagrid pointed deeper into the mystery. The truth was more complicated than anyone realized. The diary, once a clue, became a source of doubt and fear. With Dumbledore gone, Hogwarts felt leaderless and vulnerable. The real monster was still at large, and the answers were hidden in the shadows. The path forward was darker than ever. Following Hagrid's advice, Harry and Ron braved the Forbidden Forest at night, their hearts pounding as they stepped beneath the ancient, twisted branches. The moonlight barely pierced the thick canopy above, and every step forward seemed to echo with the possibility of danger. Guided only by the faint, glimmering trail of spiders weaving through the undergrowth, the boys pressed on, determined to uncover the truth behind the mysterious attacks at Hogwarts. The forest was alive with danger, every shadow a threat. Strange noises echoed all around them, rustling leaves, distant howls, and the occasional snap of a twig underfoot. The deeper they ventured, the more the darkness seemed to close in, making it nearly impossible to tell what was lurking just out of sight. The air was thick with tension, and the boys could feel the weight of the forest's secrets pressing down on them. Suddenly, they stumbled upon Aragog, a giant spider whose massive legs cast eerie shadows across the forest floor. Aragog's voice was chilling as he explained his story. He revealed that he wasn't the monster from the Chamber of Secrets, and that he had never harmed a human. Instead, he spoke of a creature so terrifying that even the spiders of the forest feared it, a monster that had haunted Hogwarts for generations. Hagrid was innocent. The real monster was something even spiders feared. Harry and Ron exchanged worried glances, realizing that everything they thought they knew was wrong. The truth was more frightening than they had imagined, and the danger was far from over. Aragog revealed another crucial detail. The first victim had died in a bathroom not by Aragog's hand, but by the true monster's attack. This clue pointed them in a new direction, suggesting that the creature's lair might be hidden somewhere within the castle itself, perhaps in a place no one would suspect. As Aragog's children began to close in, their many eyes glinting hungrily in the darkness, Harry and Ron's escape seemed impossible. But just as hope was fading, the enchanted flying car burst through the trees, headlights blazing. The boys scrambled inside, barely escaping the snapping jaws and skittering legs of the giant spiders. The car sped through the moonlit forest, carrying them to safety. They escaped with the truth. Hagrid was framed, and the monster was ancient and deadly. Gasping for breath, Harry and Ron realized that their journey into the Forbidden Forest had given them vital information, but also left them with more questions than answers. The real threat was still inside Hogwarts, hiding in the shadows, waiting to strike again. The castle's corridors felt colder and more dangerous than ever before, as if the walls themselves were holding their breath. The mystery deepened, and time was running out. With each passing day, the fear among students and teachers grew, and the sense of urgency mounted. The safety of everyone at Hogwarts was at stake, and Harry and Ron knew they had to act quickly. The school was in more danger than ever. Storm clouds gathered over the ancient castle, mirroring the growing sense of dread within its walls. Whispers of the monster's return spread like wildfire, and no one felt safe. Harry and Ron were no closer to stopping the attacks. Despite their discoveries, the identity of the monster remained a mystery, and the attacks could happen again at any moment. Frustration and fear gnawed at them, but they refused to give up. But they had a new clue, and a renewed sense of urgency. The detail about the bathroom and the monster's true nature gave them hope that they were finally on the right track. They pored over every memory and clue, determined to solve the puzzle before it was too late. The monster's identity was within reach, but so was disaster. With every step closer to the truth, the danger grew, and the fate of Hogwarts hung in the balance. The next move could change everything. At last, the puzzle pieces began to fall into place. For weeks, the school had been gripped by fear and confusion, but Hermione, ever the brilliant mind, managed to uncover a crucial clue before tragedy struck her. Just before she was petrified, she tore a page from a library book, leaving behind a vital message for Harry and Ron. The page revealed the monster terrorizing Hogwarts was none other than a basilisk, a giant serpent of legend whose deadly gaze could kill in an instant. The basilisk, it turned out, was slithering through the castle's ancient plumbing, moving unseen beneath the floors and behind the walls. The mysterious puddles of water and the strange noises in the pipes suddenly made sense. The creature's ability to travel through the plumbing allowed it to strike anywhere at any time without warning. But there was one more chilling detail: only Harry could hear the monster's voice. As a Parselmouth, he alone understood the hissing language of snakes, which echoed through the corridors as a sinister whisper that no one else could comprehend. This rare gift set Harry apart, making him both a target and the only hope for stopping the attacks. The next clue led them to the least likely of places: Moaning Myrtle's bathroom. The ghost's endless wailing had always kept students away, but it was here, in this gloomy, forgotten restroom, that the entrance to the Chamber of Secrets was hidden. When Ginny Weasley mysteriously vanished, Harry and Ron knew they had to act fast. Desperate and determined, they confronted Professor Lockhart, who had been boasting about his bravery. With no other choice, they forced him to accompany them, hoping his supposed expertise would help them face whatever lay ahead. Inside the bathroom, Harry discovered a hidden mechanism. Speaking Parseltongue to a snake-engraved tap, he triggered the secret entrance. The wall slid open, revealing a dark, winding passage that led deep beneath the school. As they descended into the depths, the truth began to surface. The mysterious diary that had bewitched Ginny was more than just a magical artifact. It was a vessel, containing a fragment of Tom Riddle's soul. The diary had possessed Ginny, forcing her to do its bidding and reopen the chamber. Tom Riddle, the memory preserved in the diary, revealed himself as the true heir of Slytherin. He had manipulated Ginny, using her as a pawn to unleash the basilisk once more and continue Salazar Slytherin's dark legacy. The truth cleared Hagrid's name. He was innocent all along. Ginny, terrified and alone, was merely a victim of Riddle's cunning magic. The real villain was none other than Lord Voldemort himself, hiding in plain sight as the young Tom Riddle. His plan had been set in motion years before, and now, through the diary, he sought to return to power. The stage was set for a final, desperate confrontation. In the heart of the chamber, surrounded by ancient stone and the echoes of Hogwarts' darkest secrets, Harry faced his most dangerous challenge yet. The secrets of the chamber, guarded for centuries, were about to be revealed. The ancient symbols glowed in the torchlight, hinting at the power and danger that lay within. With courage burning in his heart, Harry stood alone, ready to face the monster and the memory of Voldemort. He was the only one who could save Ginny, clear Hagrid's name, and protect the school from destruction. The fate of Hogwarts, and everyone within its ancient walls, hung in the balance, as darkness gathered and the final battle for the school's future began. Harry entered the chamber alone, finding Ginny unconscious and Tom Riddle waiting. Riddle revealed he was Lord Voldemort, the diary a piece of his soul, a Horcrux. He had possessed Ginny, using her to attack students and lure Harry. Riddle summoned the basilisk, a monstrous serpent with a deadly gaze. Harry was outmatched, but Dumbledore's Phoenix Fox arrived, blinding the basilisk and bringing the Sorting Hat. From the hat, Harry drew the sword of Gryffindor. In a desperate battle, Harry killed the basilisk, but was bitten by its venomous fang. As darkness closed in, Fox's healing tears saved him. With the basilisk fang, Harry destroyed the diary, vanquishing Riddle's memory. Ginny awoke, freed from the diary's control. The chamber was silenced at last. Harry had faced Voldemort's shadow and survived, but the cost was high, and the danger was not truly gone. Harry, Ron, Ginny, and a dazed Lockhart returned to the castle. Dumbledore was back, order restored, and the truth revealed. All petrified victims were cured, and Hagrid was freed. Hogwarts celebrated, the darkness lifted, for now. Harry had proven that choices, not abilities, define us. The chamber was sealed, but a shadow lingered. The diary was just one piece of Voldemort's soul, a hint of greater evil to come. Hogwarts was safe, but the battle was far from over. Evil had been pushed back, not destroyed. The events of the year were a warning. Darkness can return at any time. For now, the students could breathe easy, but true evil never really dies.